Morning, everyone. It's a privilege to stand here in front of all of you this morning. Just on what Craig was speaking about in terms of essentially standing on the shoulders of the giants that went before you. It's quite a unique thing for me. So I live in the house or on the farm that my grandfather built, just down here where the church originally began before it moved here to this building. I run in the running club that my grandfather started, and I go to the church that he planted. So I think very often we think that the impact that we can have in our lives is limited. But it's just a testimony to you don't know where your actions are going to end up, and one day it's probably going to be your grandchildren following in your footsteps, good or bad. That's up to you to decide. But it's very awesome, and it's a massive privilege. I don't know if we managed to get those other pics on, so I'm going to just see if we've got it here. Yeah, so you can't really read that, but I just wanted to share it this morning. So this, and I'll maybe see if Craig can share the original docs on the community group after this so that you guys can read them yourselves. But this is the original message, memo, constitution on which the club was started that was written by my grandfather. This was printed on his dot matrix printer. That's why the quality is so good. And in this document, he captures the essence of where Spirit Wind began, why it began, why he started it. And I'm sure any of you that knew Wally, or that know Wally, sorry, he is still around. This is something that he does on the regular, and he's been a leader at the forefront of things for a very long time. I mean, he started remote working, I think, in 1994 from the cottage. He worked from the farm as an investment broker since then. So he's always been at the forefront and putting together a memo, writing down his thoughts on exactly why and what and how he's going to start this thing is something that he likes to do. So just in order to capture the essence of the club, I thought I'd read you guys a few parts and pieces from this memo, not the entire memo. We'll be here till tomorrow. But it starts off on the top left, long before anything else begins. And it's from John chapter 3, verse 8, where it says, "The wind blows where it will, and though you hear its sound, yet you neither know where it comes from nor where it goes. So it is with everyone who is born of the Spirit." And that's where the name Spirit Wind comes from. And that's where the original naming of the club comes from. And the next part that he says there at the bottom is, "Breathe in the breath of life, lifeblood circulating health and gladness to every cell in my body, my heart filled with the joy of the Lord. Such is the promise of Spirit Wind." So that was the opening line and the opening intention of the club. And then he goes on several lines later to say that the constitution is to be, "For physical training is of some value, useful for a little, but godliness, in brackets spiritual training, is useful and of value in everything and in every way, for it holds promise for the present life and also for the life which is to come." And then he says, "Sometime followed," that's from Timothy verses 4 to 8. So this captures the spirit or the essence of Spirit Wind. And there's not a single individual in this church right now that cannot become part of the club and that would not be a welcome member of the club. And that is because Spirit Wind is for all Christians across this land, irrespective of where they live, where they worship, or whatever their background may be. So I don't know if any of you have joined a running club before, but most running clubs are bound by location. So it would be the Randburg Running Club, the Pietermaritzburg Running Club, the Tyrone Harriers, whatever it might be. It's a central location where people within a certain radius of that area go to and run together. So the beauty of Spirit Wind is we have members in Cape Town, we have members in Stellenbosch, we have members in Port Elizabeth, we have members in Pietermaritzburg, we have members in the south of Joburg, we have members in the north of Joburg, we have members in Pretoria. So we're not brought together by location, but rather by a central theme of running for Christ. So, yeah, the next part, it goes on to say, they can all participate in their own local groups, and then on a few occasions during the year, they can participate regionally and nationally and formally as Spirit Wind. And that is what the club does. So we don't have a club run every Saturday from Community Ministries that runs out in the Cradle. And we don't have a club run every Saturday in Cape Town or anywhere else. We do our thing, we get on with our training, and we'll make a plan to meet at an event sort of quarterly. So the Wally Hayward is a big event that the club likes to run together. We had, I think, 12 athletes running the Two Oceans this year. A large proportion of that were running the half marathon, and I think we had about 5 athletes running the full ultra, the 56K. So, yeah, that's typically how we do things. And then it says, at these times, the bold colors, which I'm wearing today, will show them to be my people, and they will be as 10,000 lights moving through the nation. Their lights will shine brightly as they are active, serving, helping, encouraging non-Christians in these races. Their lights will shine brightly as they move with the fruits of the Spirit, highly visible as they participate, giving to others love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, and self-control. What about you? So that is the essence of where the club began, and that really is the heart of the club. It's captured there in those words written by Wally 35 years ago, and it's exactly what we've tried to continue through to this day. So what's very interesting about the club is Wally did pass the baton on, and I'm not actually even sure when he passed the baton on originally, but it was to Yanni Kutsia, who some of you might be well familiar with. And they kept the club alive for many, many years, somewhat stagnant, but alive, and just kept it going. And yeah, I found my true relationship with Christ in August 2022, and was never a runner. I like gymming and rugby and all of those types of things, and if you caught me at a 5K, you wouldn't catch me dead at a 5K or a park run. I didn't care enough for the discovery points. So yeah, it was my journey in faith began, and my training in faith began, and then after that I had some friends phone me up and say, listen, we want you to run the 56K Ultra with us next year in April. And this was in July. I'd done like 3 5Ks. So I thought, okay, this is an interesting change of events. Not knowing that this was actually the Lord, starting a process. And yeah, 7 months later, I ran the 56K. I ran a marathon a little bit before then. Joined the club. The club was still then being run by Yanni and the likes thereof. But yeah, the baton has been passed on, and we're trying to take the club forward to where it needs to go. So yeah, I think the last thing that I actually wanted to just mention from this piece of text that I didn't, Wally writes about the type of activities that he wants people to partake in within Spirit Wind. And he says here, activities are to be anything that gets people, young or old, men or women, outside into fresh air and sunshine. That is the intention of the club. It's not just for runners. So he then begins to list here: walking, hiking, running, swimming, cycling, canoeing, volleyball, aerobics, jumping on a rebounder, whatever. Be free to choose. But get outside, exercise your body, healthy mind, healthy spirits. It's all interconnected. And for me personally, I have quite a busy schedule. And finding time where there are 0 distractions to just spend time with God can be tough. But on a run, no phone, no music, out in the Garden of Eden, just exploring. That's where I often have my best moments with the Lord. So, yeah, it's not limited by age, activity, or anything like that. That's the intention and the heart of the club. So I hope that I've carried across a 35-year message and a 35-year intention effectively to everyone. But yeah, that's the intention of Spirit Wind, and that's what we're doing. Awesome.